Hi folks, hello from the Wirral. On a cloudy Saturday afternoon. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Let's hope it keeps flying for barbecues later. I've just come online. Something piqued my interest earlier today. I was listening to Rob Moore from Progressive Disruptive Media, the Money YouTube channel, etc. This morning, when he does a live video every day. He's walking around. He was talking about what he called the great tax rip-off, vehicle tax rip-off by the government on electric vehicles, and he inferred that it was the Labour government's fault this was happening. He didn't say that directly, to be fair, but what he said was Labour have introduced it, which they have. However, let's be accurate about this. The fact is, this was first considered back in 2022 by Jeremy Hunt, and it was put into the process of coming in now. So what's happening is that was in the pipeline. It was always going to happen. It's if the Conservatives had been in power, they would have brought it in as well. It doesn't matter who was in power, it was coming in. You were never going to pay zero tax forever on electric vehicles. And why not? Well, if you imagine every vehicle is suddenly electric, there's no vehicle excise duty road tax. Yeah. And so why do we have vehicle excise duty? We have it allegedly, and some of you might disagree with this, to help pay for the maintenance of the roads, the highways, motorways, etc. Blah blah blah. And I can hear some of you crying out, "God, oh, that's a load of horse crap. They don't do anything on our roads." Well, local authorities have been strapped for cash for a number of years and cutbacks, etc. So they rely on getting grants from the central government for doing road repairs. So they will get an annual grant off the government to do so much in road repairs. And that's when you see them suddenly out spending money filling potholes, resurfacing. So this is how the government, whichever government's in, gets the money to give out for road repairs. Okay, so what's happened with electric vehicles? Well, it was always coming in, okay? So they brought it in, and basically what they've said from the 1st of April, the other day, the other week, Christ, I'm just looking at what date we're on the 12th of April already, the year's flying by. So from the 1st of April, electric vehicles are no longer exempt from paying tax. And let's be straight about this. They've always had to register for road tax, even though it was zero. So the fact you've got a car and you were paying zero on it, and the same applies for vintage cars, which are, don't pay road tax. You still have to apply for a zero road tax and have that online. And for those of you who remember, you used to have a little disc that used to go on your car windscreen, different colours, and people used to stick beer mats in to try and avoid excise duty. Do an only fools and horses thing. So you see sometimes beer mats or folded over tickets and stuff like that, trying to dodge around it. But it's all electronic now, as is MOTs, etc. Blah blah blah. So how much are they taxing electrical vehicles? Good question. So if your car was registered on the 1st of April or after, you benefit from the first year reduced payment of £10. So for the first year your car's registered, you pay £10, unless its retail value is over 40,000, in which case you pay an extra £425 on top of that. And the same goes for all the other bands. Yeah. So I don't know what this is about. I don't pretend to understand what the expensive car tax allowance is all about. Not a tax allowance, is it? A tax demand is about. I don't know that one. I do know a little bit about this though. So EVs registered from the 1st of April 2017 to the 31st of March 2025 will now pay the same standard rate of road tax, £195 a year. Okay? So I hope you understand that one. So even if it's got I'll explain the expensive car thing in a minute. So, for example, I pay £195 a year for my 2008 Peugeot 1.6 engine. So you pay the same. Not saying everyone pays the same rate, but that's the standard rate. And then All cars emitting between 1 to 50 GKM of CO2, that's most plug-in hybrids, will see the first year tax bill rise to £110. Currently, hybrids in this band pay zero for the first year, while petrol and diesel cars pay £10. New cars emitting 51 to 75 GKM of CO2 will see an increase from £30 or £20 for hybrids to £135. I'm going to have to put my glasses on here, so you have to bear with me. All other rates will double, meaning the owner of a Volkswagen Golf 1.5 TSI will pay an extra £220 in the first year. By contrast, the new BMW X5 M60i has had £2,745 added to the cost of the first year rate. That gives you an idea of these first year costs. And then they pay that rate for 5 years. So how much is your tax in 2025? The flat rate cost of car tax is £195. Hybrid cars no longer qualify for discount. It's reinforcing that. By the way, I'm reading off the RAC website here. So the RAC obviously give out quality information for their members and motorists. So it's a proper source of information in case anyone was wondering. It's not Donald Duck guides to motoring or anything like that. This is the RAC website. Okay, so the flat rate is £195, includes hybrids. If your vehicle had a list price which exceeded £40,000 when it was first sold, then you may also be liable for the luxury car tax fee, which adds £425 to a vehicle's annual VED costs. You may pay less or more for your car if it was first used before 2017. The exact fee for your annual road tax will boil down to the year your car was first registered and the type of fuel it uses. Yeah. Electric cars no longer qualify for free road tax. Okay, so the RAC have a nice little helpful guide, and if I think on, I'll post the link in the down below in the comments. So obviously we've talked about how from the first year most will pay £10, but if it's an expensive car, you can get £425 added to that. Second year registration, they will move to the standard rate, which will be £195 a year after the 1st of April 2025. Zero and low emission cars first registered between 1st of March 2001 2017. Currently Band A will move to Band B and £20 a year. Zero emission vans will move, so we're still talking about electrical vehicles here, will move to the rate for petrol and diesel light good vehicles. Currently £335 a year. That's a big jump from 0 to 335. Zero emission motorcycles and tricycles, and they mean trikes here, not tricycles that you pedal along. They're not taxing kids' tricycles. Okay, don't panic. They mean the big trikes that people ride around on, will move to the rate of the smallest engine size, so that's currently £25 a year. And then it says the rates for alternative fuel vehicles and hybrids will also be equalised. So do you need to be taxed? Yeah, you've still got to register for tax even if you pay zero tax. So all this, but it's all ended anyway. But I suppose the best example, I think I've said that a little bit earlier, vintage vehicles exempt from road tax after a certain, for a certain, depending on how old they are, you still have to apply for zero road tax. So you still have to go through that process. Now, there's a couple of things you should be aware of as an electric car owner. Electricity costs. As you know, electric rates are just skyrocketed again. They raised their Ofgem allowed them to raise the cap on energy prices. So if anyone's watched the video, I did a video called marginal price and extreme profits. Basically, energy prices are set buy the most expensive fuel form to create the energy, which is gas. So gas dictates the price of energy. So it doesn't matter if it's solar, whatever, which is far cheaper. Gas keeps the price high. That's how it is. That's energy companies ripping you off for 514 billion net profit a year. I won't get on my soapbox just yet. So you need to be aware of that. So obviously rates have increased. So you need to be thinking about, when's the best time to recharge my car up? Can I afford to charge it at home? You know, does it work provide one? There are cheap tariff rates, and I don't mean Donald Trump's tariffs. So he's not. I mean electricity tariffs. So you should look into that. Say, I know that some of them do a Sunday tariff. So between such and such a time, it's mostly the cheapest time on a Sunday to charge your car up. Does it last a week? I don't know. I don't drive an electric vehicle. I thought about it, decided not to. Obviously, you need insurance, and it goes on about the type of vehicle, your driving history affects insurance. So it's not really to do with robbing you, though. Insurance premiums have gone up again. God knows why, but they keep throwing them up. Maintenance, you need to be aware of that. Obviously, the maintenance on electric cars is generally a lot less because a lot less moving parts. However, brake pads, tyres, fluid top-ups, etc. Find out from your local garage what your maintenance costs are. So you should bear them in mind. So I think that's about it over this one. I thought I'd just give you a little bit of information on it. So I'm not saying don't have an electric vehicle. I'm saying you do want to think about that. Personally, I don't think I'll get one. I might get a hybrid, but I need to do a little bit more research. I certainly wouldn't buy an electric vehicle. I think leasing is the best option over 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years, and then hand it back. Because from what I've seen, once the guarantee goes on the battery, you may get problems. And I know there's been problems with different makes of cars, Tesla being an example. So yeah, you need to be aware of these things. So there's not a massive tax hike on vehicle excise duty in general. They put it up for electric vehicles, and if you have an expensive car, you may pay a lot more in tax. But generally, for most vehicles, general vehicles, you're going to pay £195 a year, unless it's a van or something where you're going to pay a bit more, quite a bit more. So I hope that's helped you a little bit. I hope that helps you understand it. No one likes paying tax, but I'm paying £195 a year. Next year I paid £180 this year. I pay it all in one lump sum. So it's gone up £15, which is just over £1 a month. I can't really complain at that. Well, I could, but you won't listen to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it a little bit useful. Please like and subscribe if you see it on YouTube, because I've got a YouTube channel where I'm starting to throw these videos up. It'll be on LinkedIn, it's on Facebook, it's on TikTok, So please support me in any way you can. I really appreciate that. And have a great weekend.